Welcome back to another episode, everyone, and today we are going to be talking about opening weekend for Ohio whitetail deer hunting. Alright, so as many of you guys probably know, anyone who watches my channel has heard me say it before. Pretty much, I've hunted a few times in the past years, but I've never really had a spot to myself. I've always been hunting with other people, with my buddies, and I've just never had my own private property to hunt on. So this year is technically what I consider my first year hunting, because it's my first year that I actually have private property to hunt by myself. Now with that being said, I've never got a deer before. I've never got a buck or a doe, and pretty much I am out to get any doe now. And I'm not like super picky on bucks. I don't want to shoot something that's really small, but I also don't want to shoot a I don't want to just use my antlered deer tag in Ohio on a small buck. So I'm kind of waiting until I get a decent sized buck to come in, and if I don't, then later in the season I'll shoot a smaller buck. But for now, I just don't really want to, and I'm not gonna use my deer or my antlered tag like that. And also, what's holding me back is I've got one buck on one of my properties, which is a once in a lifetime buck, and in the other property, I've got a buck that started to come in that's a really nice 9-pointer. It's not super old. It's not an old buck, probably about 2.5, 3. 2.5 probably is a good age for it. But it's a nice looking buck. So that's basically my thoughts on it. And yeah, now we can start talking about opening weekend. So for my first opening weekend by myself, I got everything ready the following week before the season, was all ready, and then next thing you know, here comes a really warm, like a warm front or like a heat wave that came through that weekend. That weekend went from being supposed to be nice to having 78 to 82 degree weather all weekend, and that made it tough. I didn't hunt too much opening weekend. I went out Saturday night, which Saturday morning was the opener. So Saturday September 26th, I went out that night from, I believe, like 4 till 8 o'clock, about a hunt, something like that. And then I hunted Sunday night it was about the same time, about 4 to 8. Other than that, I'll show you guys footage from that following Wednesday when I've had the most action so far about being in a stand. And I did a morning hunt at my other property, had no luck, and then went back to the one property closer to my house that I have that big buck on, and I had the previous action on the opening weekend, and had a ton of action that week. So first off, let's talk about Saturday. Saturday, my first hunt alone in a stand. Get up there. I sat there for a few hours, had no luck, didn't see anything, didn't hear anything, and I was starting to get discouraged. Safe light, so sunset's 7:30ish that night. Safe light's 30 minutes after that, probably more like 7:20 for sunset. So safe light ends at about 7:50 that night. So I'm sitting there, and at about 7:30ish, I see just a body come out, and I can't really see too well about what it looks like, or like what deer it is. And basically, here's what ended up happening.
Alright guys, so we just got up in the stand. We just got situated. It is 3:53 right now. Typically, when the deer start coming through, if the big one comes through, he comes in anywhere between really like 4:30, 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. That's usually when he's in. The other day, he was in here from 5:50 to 6:20. So we're hoping he shows back up. It was fairly similar conditions when he was here the other day, but then the doe and then the other buck or bucks that come in, typically they don't come in till around like 7 o'clock. So we've got a few hours probably till we see anything, but we're just gonna pretty much just sit here, relax, kind of watch everything, see if we can't observe anything on this hunt today. Really, I'm not out here to shoot anything today. I've never got a deer before. Not even a doe, not a buck, nothing. So, if I get like a perfect shot at a doe tonight, which as you guys can see, right there, is where my food has been. Bait, but my corn has been. So, if they get right down there and start eating later tonight, I may not have a choice but to shoot one. Just to get one underneath my belt. So yeah, So I'm going to turn this off, kind of just maybe get some B-roll, get to just sitting here and see if we don't see anything. Holy crap. Holy crap, what deer is that?
So as you guys just saw, they weren't really like fighting because I believe they were both my small bucks, my two smaller bucks. I know the one was my 8-pointer, the other one looked like it had a really nice rack, but I couldn't tell if it was my one I call corkscrew with one normal size rack and one that is messed up because of an injury that he had, or if it was one of my bigger bucks I've got on camera. So it was just right at that point of the night where I couldn't see. So I sat, let them do their thing. They ran off, and I got out of the stand before they came back. I got out, and like 20 minutes after I got out of the stand, they came back and started eating. So that was opening day. Now, moving on to the next day on Sunday, we sit there for a while. I sit there for a while. I sit out there in the stand, and same thing. I don't see like anything for the longest time. And then about the exact same time of night, about 7:15, 7:20, here comes my 8-pointer walking down the pathway, and next thing, corkscrew. He comes in too. So here's the footage that I got before the end of safe light on Sunday. So at this point, I'm pretty happy. Both of my two opening day hunts, or my two first hunts that I had of the season, I saw bucks. I was happy about that. First time out there alone, happy that I'm seeing deer. The previous time when I hunted, I didn't see one thing all season. These are new places I just got permission to this year, so it was awesome seeing the hard work that I put this summer getting the place ready pay off. So the next few days, from Monday and Tuesday, I kind of just look at my camera that I've got and kind of try to pattern these deer coming in and out of the property. And I get a good pattern, and then on Wednesday morning, I decide to go to my other property about 30 minutes away instead, because I'd been having them pattern pretty well also, and I didn't see anything. That same morning, I was sitting there and I got notifications on my phone about 8 a.m. during shooting time. Here come my doe in, so I could have went and could have got a doe if I wanted to, but it's not a problem. It's still real early in the season. I'm not too worried about it. So end that hunt a little bit early, about 10 a.m. or so, and then go home, just do whatever the rest of the day, and about 3:30, get ready, head out to the one property close to my house, get up in the stand, and yeah, sit out there for a few hours, get out there in the stand about 3:45, I think, and pretty much it got crazy. So real quick, we'll show you the footage I got. My camera died halfway through, so I didn't get all of the action on camera, but I do on this camera, but I do know my one shot facing down at me can see quite a bit of action. So basically what happened on this time is I was sitting there about 6 o'clock, and that's the same time the past few nights that that doe and her fawn has been coming in. So I was kind of expecting her to come in, but about 6 o'clock, 6:20, here she comes walking in. At first I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna get a doe, and then I see her fawn following her in. I'm like, I personally, just one of those things, personally, I cannot shoot a doe if her fawn's with her. That fawn would not survive if I shot the doe. So I held off. I let them sit there. They played around, ate for a while, probably about 30 minutes, and then they took off. And then I think you guys probably saw about 10 minutes after they left, here comes my 8-pointer and then my corkscrew buck right back in, and they hang around for about 20 minutes and eat. After they got done eating, they leave, and I know this part I did not get on camera, but up until my left in the very thick brush, it goes from thick brush out into an open field, and I could just see enough out into the open field to see that there were deer up there, but I didn't know how many were up there. I didn't know what was up there. I thought I saw a doe. I thought I saw a big-bodied deer. I'm not too sure. So sitting there, I give it 3 bleat calls, 3 short ones, and next thing you know, the corkscrew buck is trying to run these doe, and they come running down the hill, down the green open path that you guys can see in the footage. And pretty much what ended up happening next was crazy. I had about 7 doe in there at my stand, and I could probably see about 5 to 6 more farther out in the field, and I just didn't know what to do. It was just crazy. So if I've got enough footage, I'll show you guys right now. Like I said, I'm not sure how much footage I actually got of that. I know with my one GoPro I saw some deer walking in, but I know I didn't get all of it on there. I'm still learning how to do the self-filming hunts. It's actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So still learning to do that. And yeah, pretty much that was my first 3 hunts of the season for the first few days of the season. It was pretty successful. I was very happy with it, but it has kind of it's kind of spoiled me for what the reality of hunting is, about not always having it that way and seeing bucks, or not always seeing deer in general. So it's spoiled me. So this time, this is right now is probably where I think we're working on the 3rd week of the season, and yeah, there's a lot more I've been filming. Haven't had too much action, so probably won't make anything out of this, or out of this following all the hunts from this video until now. But I'm getting out this weekend and this following week when the cold front comes up, and I'm going to try to get plenty of action on camera and try to bring you guys along with me. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of today's video of looking at the opening day action in Ohio. So had a lot of action, really cool, got some cool footage of those bucks beating each other up pretty much, or playing around with each other. And I mean, it was just a lot of cool footage for my first week of hunting by myself. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and we will see you guys in the next video.